Hi, I'm Jasmine and I've been building this 120 square metre container house alone and with no experience in the remote Australian bush. Last week I finished making an operational dumbwaiter in my house, which is basically like a little mini elevator. Now the time has finally come that we have all been waiting for, including me. I'm installing all my subflooring. That includes a vapour barrier, insulation and plywood so that I can then install this steel framing and get this container house to move in stage before the end of the year. It's all going to go extremely fast from here and be non-stop work, and I am more than ready for it. Let's make this container house a home. The first step is installing this vapour barrier, which complies with Australian standards, and it's to seal and cover the original container floors. I know a few people will be wondering why I'm not removing the original floors, so let me explain. One word. Termites. There is strict Australian rules and regulations around termite treatment for a new build in remote Oz. I'm getting professional termite guys to come now and at the end of the build to install a 2-part termite barrier for my container house. Because along with fires, termites are in my top 2 potential problems in the area that I'm building. The container floors are already heavily treated for pest and being out at sea, which is the best protection I can have for the floors of my house. So with the bottom of the house consisting of concrete piers, caution steel shell and chemically protected thick ply and the termite barrier, the little armies of termites will not stand a chance. Now, before you guys say, what about the timber deck and doors and windows? I'm gonna beat you to it because I've already thought about that. There's a reason I milled the Jarrah trees from my property to use for decking boards and why I bought secondhand Jarrah timber windows. Jarrah is the majority of the trees that you see around this property, and all the timber I'm using for the house is pretty much timber from this property. And there's a reason for that. Not only am I saving money, but Jarrah is highly termite resistant due to its natural density and high concentration of resins. Not only that, but I've made my own homemade varnish from the xanthoreas on my property. Specifically their resin, which is highly termite resistant and creates a hard seal on the timber. And all these layers of protection aren't only stopping termites, but they're fire resistant too. But back to the original container floors, and I do need a way to protect me and the animals from the original chemically treated container floors, and that's why I'm installing vapour barrier. It's covering the entire floors and also running up the walls 100 mil to make sure no edges or corners are missed. This is all getting sealed together with tape as well to create a protective barrier between us and the original container floors. Now I do have a couple of jobs I need to take care of. I put in these little black things here, and they were to hold things in place like the scaffolding and the planer. And remember these holes that I made when I connected the winch to here? I also need to quickly weld those up, and I think that is the last time I will ever be welding in my container house. Well, at least it's meant to be, fingers crossed, but that's kind of sad as well. This morning has been like the first morning that it's actually super duper cold, like winter. Like it's been wet and rainy a few mornings, but it's like, I don't think you can see, but it has been the first morning that it's actually been really freezing, like felt really cold, but the sun is out, which if I'm gonna like winter, it's gonna be because the sun's out, so it's not too bad, but the morning was better cold.
Darling, dance with me. Let me show you what I'm about. I could be your honeybee. You know you make me scream and shout. To the top of the hills we'll be free. A kiss like no one's watching. Just you wait and see. I could be your mystic blue. You could be my only muse. Let's take a chance, no point in dying. Without this love, there's no denying. To the top of the hills we'll be free.
Wow, check it out. I've got it all laid out, but I still need to tape it, which is the longest part of the whole entire process. But it's completely transformed the look and made me so excited for the stage after this, which you probably know what it is. See if you can guess though.
I need you close, I need you near. 'Cause when you're gone, there's just no hope. Sitting here, drunk in stone, to the top of the hills we'll be free.
How much has this just transformed the look of the house? Something so simple as vapor barrier and it looks completely different. What I did notice last night is I had these big lights on just here and I walked away from the house and then I came back and I was like, oh my gosh, it actually looks like a house. Like, because you could see light coming out of all the windows and doors and from a distance it like looked like a proper house and I was like, whoa, this is exciting. One of the first times that I've gone, yeah, right, this is actually like a house. I have moved the ladder from here and I think I'm going to keep it out since I'm putting all insulation and everything in until I can, hopefully in the not too distant future, install my stairs there, which may be quite the mission because I don't actually know how tall the staircase is. So that could mean that it's maybe too tall or too short. So I'm gonna jump that hurdle when I get there. So I've popped my ladder just outside here. I'm going to get up and I'm gonna do the second story, exact same as this with the vapor barrier. It's going to be a lot easier. There's nothing to go around and one piece is almost going to fill one whole container. Get this vapor barrier done up there and then I get to start on the insulation, which I'm very, very excited about. There is, as it's a container house obviously, there is all the corrugations. So all the insulation foam board and the plywood isn't going to be cut to fit the corrugations. What is going to happen is once I've laid it all down, secured it all and everything, I'm going to actually spray foam the edges and then that will fill the corrugation and then the steel framing will go on top of the plywood and all of my other flooring will go on top of the plywood. So in the wet areas I'm going to have cement fiberboard on top. In the bedrooms I'm going to have the floorboards. Still don't know what I want to do in the lounge rooms. If I do some kind of tile or micro cement or clay plaster or something like that, I will need to put cement fiber boards down as well. And yeah, that's basically it. I've also had an idea for the walls as well that is kind of out of the ordinary that I think I'm going to do, but I've just got to wait to see if it's possible. And I'm waiting to find out about materials and then I'll let you know if I'm going to do that. Alrighty, let's get up to that second story. All done. Well, I need to tape her, but bloody beautiful. Look at that. Ah, that's so sick. All right, let's whip out the tape, get this all taped up, and then I get to move on to the next phase. Looky, looky. Oh my gosh, I am completely finished with the upstairs now for all the vapor barrier. It looks gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Even done the staircase part. Beautiful. That means I get to start on the next phase. Next stage is XPS foam board insulation, which originally I was just going to use for my floors, but now I'm going to be using it to insulate the entire house. I had wanted to use closed cell spray foam, but the DIY option dramatically spiked in price in Australia to $75,000 for the entire house. And as you guys know, my budget is only $100K, so that idea was scraped. XPS foam board insulation is perfect for a container house because it can't absorb moisture, so it's never going to go mouldy from the condensation on the steel containers. Condensation on shipping containers forms when warm, moist air touches a colder steel surface and the temperature of that steel drops below the air's dew point. Because containers are made from thin steel, they heat up and cool down extremely fast compared to normal houses. That makes them especially prone to condensation if they aren't insulated and sealed correctly. A simple way to picture it is think about a cold drink can on a hot day. The water on the outside of the can didn't leak out of the can. Moisture from the air hit the cold metal and turned it into water. A container wall does the same thing. So that's why no fiberglass or wool or any insulation like that can be used, but also why I need to seal the XPS foam board insulation very well so that there's no air gap. And I'll do that with foil insulation tape and spray foam in the gaps. This prevents condensation forming on the internal walls and rusting the container internally, and also condensation getting on my walling or inside the house. Done. Whew. It's a lot of foam board. A lot of foam board. This house is going to be warm in the winter and cool in the summer, that's for sure. All right, let's see if I can actually lift this up from the top. Maybe a little bit hard because it's more weight if you're trying to like lift it up like that. If that doesn't work, I'll try sliding it up my stairs that I've got on the side of the house then. Fingers crossed that works. All right, now that I'm looking at this, doesn't look possible. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Damn, I'm gonna have to try slide it up the stairs. Plan B. Lovely. All right, that worked a treat. Very nice. Come on. You don't want to miss out on the fun. While I may not be using any power tools on the build this week, that would have to be a first. Because being off-grid, I've been relying on power stations to get me through every single stage and day of the build. And these are two of my favorites, the EcoFlow Delta 3 Max Plus and the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max. They've helped me from everything, like welding together my 360 square metres of decking that I built to refurbishing my antique Jarrah windows. With the power tools that I use, I highly value high output, and the Delta 3 Max Plus is rated at 3,000 watts. However, with its X-Boost technology, it's 3,900 watts with a 6,000 watt surge, which is pretty similar to the Delta 2 Max here, that with the same X-Boost technology can get you up to 3,100 watt output. And you can access all of that power at once by using multiple devices at the same time, with the Delta 2 Max having 13 output ports. And the Delta 3 Max Plus has 10, meaning I can have all my batteries plugged in and charging, as well as all my filming equipment, and be using my power tools on the build at the same time. And when you do run out of juice, there is 5 different charging methods that you can use for extremely fast charging, including AC, generator, alternator, and solar, or a combination. And if you have AC charging, both the Delta 3 Max Plus and Delta 2 Max can get you back up to 80% in around 50 minutes, which is seriously quick. Both support up to 1,000 watt of solar input and can fully recharge in just over 2 hours with good sunshine. If you're off-grid like me, then these two guys are real solid companions with a 5-year warranty and a 10-year lifespan. So you know how Django hates gum nuts falling? I just heard heaps fall and I was like, oh my gosh, where is she? I can't see her. So I started live tracking her on the new tracker that I've got. And where did I see that she was? The little moo is inside the house, in the little dust pile, but it's better now. That's just a few dust things from upstairs, not too bad. So I will get her out in a minute when things stop falling. You okay? Mummy loves you. Mummy loves you. You good girls? I'm just going to test out these ones here. They're either going to fit perfectly or they're not, which is going to suck. They're going to be maybe a little bit too big. They're 2.4 and I think it's like 2.35 or 6 or 7 in here, which really sucks. All right, let's have a look. Bugger. They're going to be the tiniest bit too big. In that case, it's probably just easier to do them side by side going down, I would say. Alrighty, there's one. See, it's so close, but no cigar. This is bloody exciting. That is cool. Oh my gosh. I have to do this. Oh my gosh. So not only is this insulation going to be insulation, but it's going to help with soundproofing. It's going to help with making the floors nice and solid. And it's waterproof. It is amazing. I wish it had a fit perfectly. That would have been so good. And that is the way with a lot of the materials. A lot of the materials come in at 2,400 mil, and it's almost there, but no cigar. It would be so perfect if they all fit perfectly. That means with the ply, with everything, I'm gonna have to cut off the tiniest bits, which is so annoying. But I'm thinking I might just go down right now. I might do all the cuts together. So I might go down right now and like lay everything downstairs as well. And then yeah, I can work out all the cuts that I need and do them all together, I think. This is so cool. So I'll need 1, 2, 3, 4 And then some here, maybe like 6 more or something up here, and they have 12 in there, so I definitely didn't need to bring a whole other one up. Oh, saves. That's all right. All right, let's go down. Let's lay the bottom ones, and then we can start to cut. And then I need to tape. Yuck. I'm so excited. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh. Oh. This is very comfortable. So comfortable. Oh my gosh. It's starting to turn into a house. Oh, I'm leaving little indents. I should probably stop that. Okay, this is extremely exciting. I'm just going to start laying them down like a jigsaw puzzle. You know what's gonna mess me up? You know what's gonna mess me up? These bloody things. But I guess that's, yeah, well, they're in line with the post too. So I reckon I just skip them and then line everything else up, and then those will be the bits I cut, and probably an area at the front because it's probably not gonna fit in perfectly. I'm not actually sure how many I will get. I think I'm gonna get like 5 going long ways down here, and maybe need a tiny bit more, but I'm not sure how many this ways. So let's find out, I guess. So I'm gonna skip this bit here, start straight on the other side. See what happens with that. Or maybe I should start running down there. I don't know. Let's fast line this. And here we have it. These are all the pieces that can get laid down without being cut, kind of. The ones that you're on at the back there, they are running a bit too long, and so I need to cut them off because they're going just out of the doorway. But I think I can like put my straight edge jig on them while they're down, and then score them, and then pick them up, break it off, and put them back into place. And so yeah, all these gaps you see, I will have to cut boards for there to fill them. But yeah, there's obviously a lot more to cut here, but I'm going to do it in little sections. So like, I'll be able to do a rectangle here, rectangle there, on that side, and so on and so forth. Oh my gosh. This is looking so exciting. Ugh, not looking forward to taping at all, but hey, that's all right. Alrighty. I guess I just start cutting to get them all into place. I might start with the little end ones, or I might go upstairs and do those first. I don't know. I feel like it's just simpler to get that top floor done because it's like close to being done. I feel like I might even have some left over, which is great because it's the same stuff that I'm using for the walls, and I'm gonna have to get a lot for the wall. Get to work cutting.
Strolling far from home and horizon looking like a sunset dream. And I talking, water crashing, evening feeling like a postcard scene. 'Cause it's just us two.
Well, that's a bloody pretty sunset, isn't it? Wow. Looks like it's on fire.
Moon is lighting, sea of diamonds. I can tell the difference to your eyes. Morning's coming, we're not rushing. I'll lie with you until the end of time. When it's just us two, dancing with the moon, my arms wrapped around you.
Well, good morning team. It is a gorgeous day. Well, it's gonna be for a few hours. Apparently in a few hours is going to get very dark and gloomy and start raining, which is now a problem for me because, as you know, I can't install my windows or doors yet. That has to be done after framing. So it's gonna get a little wet in here soon. So my plan is I wanna keep it open for as long as possible. So I'm going to try finish cutting out all these sections of foam before it starts raining. But then I also, before it starts raining, would love to get some tarps up to cover all the windows so that the rain can no longer come in here. It's not a massive issue if the rain gets on the foam board or the vapor barrier. They are both waterproof. They cannot absorb water. However, the next stage is putting down the plywood, which obviously I do not want to get wet. So it's actually kind of going to be a good test without having the plywood down first to see if the tarps actually work and to see if there's any water coming in any areas so that I can fix it before I put the plywood down and make sure that it doesn't get wet in the future. I'm gonna soak in this sunshine though for as long as possible. I'm gonna start down here. I'm gonna get all my little sections cut out. I did get my sections cut out mainly over there last night, but then it got very cold and dark and very mosquito-y, which was not fun. Hopefully I can get it done before the rain hits in a few hours. And I will pop up the tarps and move on to cutting out the top section. And then I need to tape it all, which is definitely going to be the longest part of this entire job and the part that I'm definitely not looking forward to. Now there is a little section that I am very worried about that I'm going to leave till last and not tape down until I've sorted it out. Where the container joins are, and this is the time I need to sort it too because the foam board is going to be the best way to sort it. So where the container joins are, they do protrude a little bit up like this, which means I'm going to have to cut not off, but into the insulation sideways as well to try so that I can make it level. So when the plywood goes on top, it is level and my whole entire floor will be level. And I'm not looking forward to that. It's going to be 24 meters of doing that because they run along, here and then that container join as well. This was not me putting the steel flat bar on. This is secondhand containers basically. So the secondhand containers were all bumped and damaged, and the sections were coming up that were on the joins. So it is going to be quite a big task for me. When I was doing the steel flat bar to join them all, I did try to bang them down and get them to go down basically when I was putting the steel flat bar on. It did not work. It did not work at all. Those steel container frames are hefty, strong things. So I'm not sure how they got them so damaged. It must have been some big machinery or something, because yeah, they're proper coming up like this. So the best way to sort it is this foam board insulation, because it's the best to cut into basically to make it flat. I really need to make sure this level is nice and flat for when I put my plywood floors on. We are working on a clock today before that rain comes in, so let's get to work. Quick, smart. Let's go, team. See, the clouds are starting to roll in. I'm betting it's about to get dark and gloomy, and then the rain's gonna come here soon. No, stay away. It's getting dark, it's getting gloomy, it's getting very windy. Twice my drink has knocked over and gone all over the plastic and under the insulation. So I think that's a sign I need to get these tarps up ASAP and see if I can stop the rain from coming into here. That means I'm about to turn this whole space pretty blue, I think. So let's go grab the tarps. Oh my God, I'm too late. I was so close, but it's starting. I need to get that last corner down. I need to tie all these bits down. Ah! It's bloody here and it's bloody cold. I'm gonna have to put you inside. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, just as fast as that came, that cleared up. So I'm gonna try get the others done. All the wind blew them back up again, so I have to go and pull them back down again. This is a bloody nightmare. And these ones, the door ones, just ain't very long either. Let's go. Where's the lucky strap? Oh no, the rain is upon us. The rain is upon us. Oh my gosh. Well, that took longer than anticipated. And I can't believe I've run out of Oki straps. So I'm hoping, oh my gosh, look at that grey sky. I'm hoping the rain that hits It's already started. It keeps starting and stopping. I'm hoping it's not too heavy of rain. Again, this cannot take in moisture, so that's good. But I also don't want to be cleaning up mass amounts of water in here if it does hit. So, fingers crossed until I can get to the shop. Actually, I think my dad said he wanted to visit me tomorrow. Oh my gosh, okay, that's good. I'm gonna get him to bring me more Oki straps. I feel like I might even need more tubs. Gosh, maybe 2 more packs of Oki straps just to be safe. Do you know I used to call them hockey straps? Before I started building and bought them myself, and I was like, oh, yeah, right. They're not called hockey straps. How insane does that look though? Oh my gosh, it is gonna be blue in here. And when I get these ones up, there's gonna be no sun in here for a while. Gosh, that's annoying. It's mainly that front one doing it. All right, I'm going to put my jumper on and get back to work, because I've still got a few sections to cut. Those 2 bits and then along the front here. Oh, some have blown up. Oh no, some little ones I put down have blown up. That's not great. So I need to get to work because I've got a lot to do, and that took like an hour and a half just then. So, all right, let's get back into it. I need my jumper. It's freezing.
In a long lost dream is where I'll find you, with the wind blowing through your hair brings me to my...
I may have just had the smartest idea ever. So, you know how I said I'm very, very worried about these joins because, yeah, they're going to be very, very hard to get flat, like with this XPS foam board. And then I was like, well, what am I using to fill all the gaps? That's spray foam. Thinking instead, so like, for example, I've left that little section to cut out, and that's exactly where the join is. If I actually go all the way along and actually cut out the sections or leave sections, because lots of places I've just put in little bits, like, see those little bits? That's along the join. If I just leave them out, and then I fill it with spray foam and put something on top of it straight away. That's how they do the spray foam in the walls, so that it doesn't expand more. So for example, just go along and press down a piece of plywood or foam or whatever on top straight away. Then it's going to be perfectly level with the rest, and it works. And that's insulated. It's spray foam. Okay, that is way better. I've completely finished the downstairs. I still need to cut out all the sections where the joins are of the container. I've left some of them. As you can see, I've left gaps where some of them are. Now I'm gonna head upstairs and finish off upstairs as well, and then start on taping that, and then I'll come down and do the cuts and tape these. I'm just very wary of time. Oh me, oh my, I have just finished upstairs. I spent the rest of the night taping down all my insulation with foil board insulation tape so that it was looking gorgeous and ready to go for the plywood. As always, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next Sunday.